after initially getting through the awkwardness of acknowledging that he was seen masturbating on video, Jeffrey Toobin and Alisyn Camerota move on. Jeffrey says that he has been going to therapy and working to be a better person. He says, I swear to God, he said that he is volunteering in a soup kitchen. Good, I'm glad they need help, but are you volunteering with the blind too? Like that's the most stereotypical, no, I'm seriously trying to change thing, which is good, do your volunteering. And then he mentions that he's working on a book. Don't plug your book right after you hide behind soup kitchens, do one or the other. But anyway, and he's working to be a better person, which that's good. We should all be working to be a better person. But if your point is, it was a total goof, I didn't mean to, well then why do you need to be a better person? That seems to acknowledge something else. Anyway, for me, this isn't so much about him, it's about the experience of the other people who had to deal with it. So that's where Alisyn Camerota moves to in this video.
I'm sure you've replayed that embarrassing moment over and over many times. Have you ever thought about what it must have been like to be on the receiving end of that Zoom call?
Well, I haven't just thought about it. I've spoken to several of my former colleagues at the New Yorker about it, and they were shocked and appalled. I think they realized that this was not intended for them. I think they realized that this was something that I would immediately regret, as I certainly did. And it was that day that I began apologizing. And that is something that I have tried to continue to do, both publicly and privately.
Okay, and so look, Bridget, he goes on and he talks about bad apologies versus good apologies, and he keeps apologizing. It actually gets a little bordering on pathetic at one point. But anyway, he's really apologizing and everything, and I have no doubt that he would very much like to be able to exist in the public view again. So I buy the apology or whatever. But what do you think about that? What do you think about what should be the continuing consequences? There's already been consequences. He lost his magazine job. He was off CNN for like 7 months. What do you think about the continuing consequences?
Well, I would first want to make sure that there is some very deep, meaningful, like workplace appropriateness conversations and trainings, because clearly this is not somebody who knows how to conduct themselves in a professional setting. So, I mean, I think we should be talking about, I guess I'll put it this way. In the Me Too era, we have gotten so many different kinds of men behaving badly who then make some sort of apology. Sometimes they're kind of good apologies, sometimes they're bad apologies. But I think that just making a public apology and sort of falling all over yourself to apologize verbally or in a statement or whatever, that does not kind of absolve you of this kind of wrongdoing. He talks about volunteering at a soup kitchen. I need him to connect those two for me. Like, what does a soup kitchen have to look like? Workplace masturbation, I think throwing the book in there is a little bit questionable, as you said. I would like to have a deeper conversation about what, in fact, the consequences, other than losing his, New Yorker job, what the consequences actually look like. Just taking a little vacation from the public eye is not necessarily consequences. Like plenty of people live lives without having television shows or without having cushy media jobs. And so I appreciate that he's in a place where he is apologizing, but for me, it's just not enough. I feel that, okay. And again, like thinking about the other coworkers, like how would you ever feel safe getting on a Zoom with him? If his camera's off, like what is he doing? I think these are all questions that need to be answered by him because he's the one that messed up.
That's true. Yeah, it is sort of weird though that like one of the consequences so far has been out of the public eye when that would have helped him avoid all of this if he had just nailed that part to begin with. I agree. I don't know. Like if you, so I don't know if they have to do Zoom calls anymore or whatever, but like, yeah, what would the other employees be thinking at that point? I don't know, but then, and we don't have time to delve into all this. I also think like, so what would have happened if he was newly hired as a person on air and wasn't a senior person? Or what if he was a producer that was on one of these joint calls or whatever and had done it? I don't know. I wonder about all of these things. And it also seems sort of weird that like, especially because you pointed out, there's been a lot of forms that this like bad behavior has come in. Like some of them, as we sort of alluded to earlier, is intentionally forcing someone to watch you masturbate. And like some of those people haven't faced the consequences that he did for the probably accidental, but still obviously wildly inappropriate masturbating. So I don't know, it just, I will say, like, there are other people that can do that job. It's not like any one person is indispensable to the world and the world is done if you can't have that person's political take or whatever. I don't know. It's a weird time. Having him on at all is so weird to talk about it. I don't know. No, yeah. Like, okay, so I appreciate on YouTube if you don't find this so interesting, whatever, you're saying to move on, but like this intersects with a lot of stuff about what's appropriate, what consequences there should be, intersecting with all of us working from home during the pandemic, and that caused a lot of issues. Some of them were just cute, someone's toddler walking in the background. Some of them not so much. So anyway, those are my thoughts.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.